My name is Take and I am breaking a 510 kilometer triathlon world record.
I'm setting out from Amsterdam and cycling all the way to Berlin.
Not yet. Now.
You know, when you finish high school, some people take a gap year, so like a year off. That's what I did. But I was going for the more conventional path. So for me, that was going somewhere to travel and drinking a lot. And I did that for some time. And then I figured like, yeah, is this really what it is? So I went and trained 3.5 months for 70.3 Ironman. After I completed that, I felt satisfaction was completely different. I went to travel South America, and at some point I really wanted to start doing an Ironman. 19, I finished an Ironman. What's there more to do? And I started searching and I found this record on Guinness World Record. I was like, oh, I think I can break that.
So tell us a little bit about the struggles you already had so far, because I know you told me the project was actually not 510, the project was 410, and now it changed for 510. So tell us a little bit about that.
At some point, I got a message from this guy who already broke the world record with 504 kilometers, but it wasn't updated on the Guinness World Record yet. I heard it, so immediately I thought, okay, let's do 510 kilometers then. Let's add another 100 to my attempt. There was like no doubt in my mind.
So for those who doesn't know, an Ironman is actually 3.8 kilometers for swim, then we have 180 kilometers bike ride, and then we have a 42 kilometers run. That's for an Ironman. When I did mine, I did with 5 months of training. I thought that was pretty cool. I had no experience with anything, straight from zero to an Ironman. But this man is actually doing something that is insane. And I want you to break down for us how much is the swim, how much is the bike, how much is the run, and which of the things you feel more confident or had more training.
We swim 12.75 kilometers. We cycle 379.25, so I always say 400. Okay. And we run exactly 100 kilometers. So in total, that makes 510 kilometers.
And that's all in a row, without stop.
Yes.
So what are the rules for you to actually break the world record?
Yeah, so there are a lot of rules, but I think the most important one to know is the 5-minute rule, which means if I don't cover any distance in 5 minutes, it's over. So let's say I fall from the bike and I can't stand up, it's over. But also, if I am too slow with my taking off my wetsuit, it's also over. If I take too many breaks, I can take as much 4-minute breaks as I want, but nothing more than 5.
How long was your Ironman, and what is your predictions for completing this whole race? How many hours we're talking?
So my Ironman was 11 hours and 48 minutes. For this race, I want to try and do under 30 hours, which is very hard, but that's just like a time I have in mind because it's about a distance. So let's say I do 32 hours. Fine, I don't mind. I'm trying to do sub 5 hours on the swim. I'm probably gonna swim like 4 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm trying to do 5 hours before I hop on the bike, so with switch included. And then on the bike, I want to do 14 hours, which is pretty fast. But I found out you can have pacers, 3 people cycling in front of me.
Nice. Where are you doing that from?
Oh yeah, it's in the Netherlands. One thing it's very known for, we have no mountains in our whole country, so it's completely flat.
That's good.
Yeah, also means there's a lot of wind. I hope to make it about 14 hours on the bike, and then I have to run 100 kilometers in 11 hours, which is basically impossible at that point.
If I was there, I would definitely swim with you. As you know, I was a college swimmer. I have done 10Ks before in the water. I think for 10Ks, I did in like 2 hours and a half.
Damn, that's fast.
I have done a 5K in an hour and 3 minutes.
Damn, that's fast. In May, I'm gonna be taking on the entire swim, so about 13 kilometer swim. It's gonna be done in the pool though, so it's 130 times 100. I think we can make something pretty cool out of it. And as a marketing stunt, I'm going to be cycling at the end of this month from Amsterdam to Berlin to try and get a German sponsorship, which I really want. I really want the guys. I don't know if I already said this, but it's 700 kilometers. So in one go without sleep. And that's gonna be like way more than race distance on the cycling, but it's also going to be in hours and into the night, quite close to the actual attempt.
Yeah, and that's where we get to fueling. So what are some of the struggles that you're facing with fueling?
The easiest things to eat on a bar are gels and bars. That's the easiest to eat on a bike, but I mean, yeah, at some point my stomach just doesn't want to anymore, especially with the gels. You don't feel any actual substance in your body. So that makes you feel really empty, which also drains your energy. It's like a placebo effect. And then the bars are decent, but you can't eat those for 14 hours straight. Yeah.
What do we need for a race like this? Carbs and salt. That's the main fuel. Does not mean that fuel needs to come from powders and bars and gels. We usually use that for optimization. We need to have a number in mind of how much carbs and sodium we're going to be consuming soon. So that answer is going to come along as you're training more. After we distinguish that, we need to get that from solid foods first. Why? If we implement more solid foods in the beginning for you, later on, when you are, for lack of better word, up, you're gonna need something that is quick, and that's when the liquid carbs and gels are gonna get in. And I'm giving you solid food because solid food is actually what's gonna make it you not having one, that placebo effect that you describe it, and two, make your stomach to be fine for what is yet to come, all the gels and all the carbs. So that's the first step of what I'm saying, and I can definitely sit down with you and do that for you. I would fly to your country to do that with you. I have had, trust me, so many athletes, they are very determined like you and they want to do these crazy things. But when it gets to the feeling, they just like, you get so nauseated and so destroyed that you don't want. And having someone there that know exactly what you need to eat, it's like the best thing. We can definitely have a bunch of coconut water. That's one of the most natural things to have electrolytes. It's not the most optimal, but for stomach wise. My opinion, we just need to have many gel flavors, many electrolyte flavors, many options of like carbs and so on. I know in the beginning, you're motivated and so, but if I was doing this race, what I would do, take the most amount of breaks in the beginning actually, to make sure you're feeling properly, to make sure you have everything in place. It's pretty much like, oh, I'm not feeling thirsty. I don't care. Just drink more water, drink more electrolytes, just eat more. Because at some point, you won't be able to. So bread, potatoes, rice cakes, a lot of honey, a lot of fruits as well. Why? Because we increase the amount of water, and also we need to create kind of like a good environment in the gut. Things that help you digest food and absorb food. We need to be strategic with the fat. Why? It's one of the macronutrients that takes the longest and the most complex to digest. So definitely it's a good tip, but I will not focus as my main, my main structure. It's like I'm getting with the foods that I'm already eating. But fats and fruits are good strategy to, one, change the palate, the texture. Fats as well, just to give some flavor. Like imagine like you're torturing yourself for so many hours that having something that is like umami almost, like that gives you like comfort, is like, okay, this is good, I can keep moving. Hot liquids, like I told you, also brings that comfort. Now I have a final question for you. Imagine you have 8 billion people out there, and every single one is gonna stop for 10 seconds and look at it on a whiteboard and listen to you, to one message you have to tell them from a 20 years old that is about to do something that no one ever did. What would you tell them or write it down?
If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And the other one is get insecure or get inspired. Love it, because if someone, let's say, is flexing on you, or you see someone like me doing it, you could get insecure just because someone is maybe doing better than you or doing something that you want to do, but you're not actually doing. But you could also get inspired. Both of them are very in common, just it's all about the way you think.
And people that are doing amazing world records and crazy athletes and so on, usually they are never looking down on you and shaming on you. Those that are doing less, they are very concerned, and they always gonna shame down on someone else next to them because they are in conflict with themselves. So whoever's doing more never shame people down, but whoever's doing less always shame people up.
Yeah, but I mean, I am not humble in the slightest.